There's a revolutionary technology beaming down from space, one that promises to connect an entire continent. But instead of a welcome party, it's being met with outright bans, government seizures, and a desperate political war. This is the story of why so many African governments are absolutely terrified of Starlink.
Now that is a wild claim from the richest man in the world, talking about his own home country. It's a pretty explosive statement, and it starts to peel back the first layer of a much, much deeper conflict, one that pits incredible technological progress against some very powerful and very entrenched interests.
And this right here is the battleground. On one side, you've got countries like Nigeria, Kenya, and Mozambique that have completely opened their doors to Starlink. But on the other side, you've got governments in open rebellion. We're talking about seizing equipment at the border, finding their own citizens, and literally trying to block signals coming from the sky. So the real question is, why? What are they so afraid of?
Well, it's because, for the first time in history, the massive telecom monopolies that have controlled communications across the continent for decades are genuinely, truly terrified. Their entire business model, everything they've built, is facing a threat to its very existence.
Okay, so to really get why they're so scared, you have to look at what happened when Starlink was finally unleashed on the continent's biggest market, Nigeria. In just 1 year, Starlink didn't just enter the Nigerian market, it completely invaded it. This wasn't some gentle introduction. This was a hostile takeover, and it was executed with satellites and dishes from halfway around the world.
And the results? They were immediate, and they were brutal. By the end of 2024, Starlink had just rocketed up the charts to become Nigeria's second-largest internet service provider. It didn't just compete with the local fiber companies like Fiber One. It completely crushed them. It just left them in the dust.
And look, the reason why is pretty simple math. A local fiber company in a city like Lagos, they might promise you 50 megabits per second, but what you actually get is maybe 20 on a good day. Starlink, on the other hand, just beams down a consistent 200 megabits per second. That's 10 times faster without a single cable ever touching the ground.
Now, you might look at that price tag, 38,000 naira a month, and think, wow, that's expensive. But you got to see it from a different perspective. For any business that is losing money every single day because of a terrible internet connection, this price isn't a cost. It's a lifeline. It's an investment in just being able to operate. And suddenly, it starts to look pretty cheap.
All right, so we've seen what happens when Starlink is legal. But what happens when a government tries to stand in the way and just says, no? Well, as it turns out, the people find a way.
The official story goes something like this. In countries like Cameroon and Zimbabwe, the governments claim the bans are all about protecting their own state-owned telecom companies from, unfair foreign competition. It's all about defending national industry. Or so they say.
But the reality on the ground? Yeah, that ban didn't work. At all. What it did was create this massive, booming black market. An entire underground economy just exploded overnight. You had people buying kits in Nigeria, where it's legal, smuggling them across the border, and just flipping on the roaming feature to get online.
And this, of course, sparked total panic. Cameroon ordered its customs agents to seize any Starlink kit they found. In Zimbabwe, they tried to crack down hard, but the demand was just so overwhelming, they were eventually forced to completely reverse the ban. The people had already voted with their wallets.
In South Africa, they took a different route. The government used its black economic empowerment laws, which were designed to fix historical inequalities, and they demanded that Elon Musk hand over 30% of Starlink South Africa to local black owners. Musk just flat out refused the terms, and that's what led to the current stalemate, and, well, that quote we started with. Okay, so let's get to the real heart of the matter here. This resistance isn't just about politics or local ownership laws. The real fear, the one that's driving all of these desperate moves, is brutally financial. It's all about the money. You have to remember, for decades, these African telcos built entire empires on physical stuff, on cell towers and thousands of miles of fiber optic cable. It's incredibly expensive, it's slow to build, and it gave them a total monopoly. They could charge you whatever they wanted for slow data simply because what other choice did you have? But what if you could just bypass all of it? What if you didn't need the towers? What if you didn't need the cables? What if the very infrastructure they built their empires on suddenly became obsolete? Well, this is it. This is the nightmare scenario for every single one of those companies. It's a new technology called direct-to-cell, and Starlink is already testing it. What it means is, soon you won't even need the dish. Your normal, everyday phone in your pocket will connect directly to a satellite orbiting in space. And you got to understand, if, and it's really a matter of when, that technology goes mainstream, it's game over. The telcos' entire monopoly on data, the very foundation of their billions and billions of dollars in revenue, will be completely finished.
So this all brings us to the bottom line, the ultimate conclusion of this entire conflict. You see, this isn't just a fight over market share anymore, it's a fight between the past and the future.
So it really leaves us with this one giant question. Is Starlink a savior, finally bringing high-speed internet to millions of people who have never had it? Or is it just a new, more powerful foreign monopoly that's come to crush local businesses in its path?
The truth, as it usually is probably somewhere in the middle. But one thing is absolutely certain. The sky has no borders. And governments all across Africa are learning the hard way that you simply cannot ban the future.
The game is changing right before our eyes. Make sure you subscribe to Venture Archives because we're just getting started.